Well, welcome back to Keeping It Real with Everyday People. And today we're talking to Deanna, and we can't wait to hear your whole food plant-based journey. So, welcome, Deanna.
Yes, how are you today?
I am doing great today.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for raising your hand and coming. We're really excited to hear your story. And without further ado, please jump right in.
Well, my name is Diane Riley, and I love. That's my biggest problem. I love food
Mhm.
way too much. And that's what got me into big trouble. It started when I was kind of halfway doing something in 2012, but then she took ill and I had to leave New Orleans because that's where I live, New Orleans, and I had to go to Texas to be with her. And I have two brothers that's out there. They would tease me, she's eating sticks and twigs and stuff like that. So that I got teased about that a lot. And long story short, my mom wound up dying, and
So
it
Sorry.
sorry.
left me devastated. So I'm in my head wondering what could I do to help people and myself to live a longer life. And I wound up going to integrative nutrition, the school for nutrition, and I learned some things there. And I thought I knew it all, but guess what? I didn't.
We
So
We can definitely relate.
you learn
Definitely relate.
along the way.
yeah. So and then fast forward to started watching you guys. My big mistake was, oh, I can cook with oil. I can do this and I can do, and I'm taking your recipes, cooking them with oil. My husband is loving them. And I'm wondering, why am I not losing weight?
Right.
Yeah,
I hear you. And it's just the calorie density of oil. I'm telling you, sometimes we will maybe go away for a long weekend and we eat the way we do. We tell people not to put oil in food. They do. And I'll come home and I'll have gained a couple of pounds. Not from the food because I'm eating the same food, but from the
From the
oil.
whale.
right.
Exactly.
Yep, it
Exactly.
happens so quickly.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why we started just making everything here at home because when you go out, you lose control.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so I could when I heard you tell your story, I can relate to you
Um,
because I when I was when I lived in California, my doctor stopped giving me the diet pills. So I went out and I did something very dumb, and I started buying methamphetamine.
Mm.
And what that did was really messed me up. It messed me up to a point to where now I have pulmonary or arterial hypertension,
Mm.
which affects the lung, the right lung. And when I tell you, doctors have told me there's no cure, even naturopathic doctors, there's no cure. There's nothing you can do about that. You have to be on medication for the rest of your life. I bought into it. And when I'm right now in Georgia visiting with my daughter. And when I came here, the first thing I sought out to do was to get a nice, thick, juicy steak. Well, I did that, got the steak, ate it, and my left ankle swelled up that big. And I told my daughter, I said, I don't know what I did wrong. Well, duh, I ate the steak. That's what did it.
Right.
So, yeah. And so, I've, through the years, I've been dealing with different health issues. Like I had to have my uterus removed because I had endometrial cancer. And then I had to have my ovaries removed later on down the line because I developed tumors on that, and it was excruciatingly painful. And I tell you, I have suffered through menopause for the longest. And it's like it's hard to get the weight off. It's like it'll drop off and then it'll stop. It'll come to a plateau. I'm like, what am I not? Why am I not losing weight? I started eating plant-based. Then when the weight stopped coming off, I stopped eating plant-based and went back to eating the standard American diet, and the weight would just pile back on. Well, not having a naturopath doctor to talk to me, to tell me what I was doing wrong, I kept getting off and on, off and on, off and on plant-based. And now I'm at 270. So I said, well, it's time for me to make a change. So I did this little thing on Facebook, and then Dr. Esselstyn himself called me.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, he did. He called. I was shocked that he did. And so he asked me questions, and he said, God, I love an honest woman. And I said, well, I have to be truthful. He said, well, I know, you would have been lying to me. And what I would have had to do is hang up, because I can't deal with you if you're not going to be honest with me. So I've been trying his program, and it's like winging it, but I'm supposed to be on his program in December. He's going to get with me to go over all of my medical records and so forth.
Okay. All right.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
So when did you start dabbling into a plant-based diet? And then, I know you went back and forth, but when did you start?
I started in 2011 is when I first started.
Okay.
And and then I haven't gotten to the worst part yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how long this has been going on. It's been going on
off and on since 2011.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I did a little bit of a career change because I was a health coach.
Mhm.
Who wanted to no, I got a few takers, to sign up with me, but in person when they would meet me, they're like, you're bigger than I am. Why should I listen to you?
Mhm.
Who wants to get on board with a fat health coach who doesn't know what she's talking about? So that in and of itself was devastating. And then I was working, doing home care, working for a home care service.
Mhm.
And in 2019, I had a devastating blow. I quit that job and was going to do something else, but I kept getting dizzy to the point to where I was falling down all the time. And so when I did go to the hospital and have, I think it was a CAT scan done, the doctor came in and told the nurse to leave out the room. And she showed me my images and she said, you have a brain tumor. I'm like, really? She said, yeah. And so I said, well, I have to leave and go. She said, you can't leave the hospital, because if you leave the hospital, they won't be able to do the surgery. You have to wait. I went in the hospital walking and came out in a wheelchair, and have been in the wheelchair ever since.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear this. How devastating.
It is.
Oh my goodness. So now what's the plan? Since this happened in 2019, it's 2023. You're still in the wheelchair. You're going to work directly, it sounds like, with Dr. Esselstyn.
Yes.
September.
Yes.
That's super exciting.
That's very exciting. I'm so happy he called you. What a wonderful man.
Yeah, he's one of the many people that have inspired us
Right.
in our lives.
Yeah, especially with Terry's heart.
Yeah.
Cardiac So now what has transpired since 2019?
Well, 2019, I started getting heavier into the plant-based movement. And I started watching more and more YouTube and watching you guys, and you inspired me. But the I want to say the my husband wasn't he was supportive to the point to where he watched what I ate, but then he would bring stuff in front of me and say, "Oh, this is my plate. This is what I'm eating," and he would chuckle, and I said, "Well, okay, that's fine. You eat that. I'll eat this." And sometimes he would break me because he knows what I like. And this past summer, I watched you guys, and it was about the right support. And so I was talking to him, and he mentioned the fact that if I brought a chicken leg in the house, you would drop everything and eat that. And I said, why would you say that? And why would you even do that? That's not supportive. If you're going to be supportive, be supportive. And he watched your video with me, and he saw what I was talking about.
Oh,
That help?
It helped.
that's great.
Oh,
That's great. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want.
yeah. Thank
Exactly.
goodness.
Thank you for sharing. That's a beautiful.
Yeah.
It's tough, but it's a beautiful story. So thank you for sharing.
How does he
You're
feel
welcome.
about the plant-based diet?
Well, now he says because I leave to go back to New Orleans on the 30th of this month, he told me, he said, if you cook it, I will eat it. As long as it tastes good, I'll eat it. I said, well, you know something? Your taste buds do have to get adjusted to eating with no oil, because oil is the thing that covers up everything. It covers up the flavor of the food.
That's
Yes.
It doesn't enhance the flavor. It covers it up.
Exactly.
Thank you. I like that she said
Exactly.
that.
And that's so true, because when we started, babe, you had to come up with seasonings.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the different recipes and so on and so forth, it's really that seasoning and mix of seasonings without the.
Oh, yeah, he calls me a kitchen witch.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I know how to play with my seasonings really well.
Yeah.
Being a Creole woman, he said, wow, you're a kitchen witch. You really know how to play with your seasoning.
Oh, I'm gonna have to have you make me a dish. I would love it. I mean, just cooking without oil it's you have to train yourself, because I thought, how in the heck am I gonna saute an onion without oil, or how am I gonna make the garlic taste good? But you can.
Yeah, you can.
You really can. It's just all in the mind,
All in the mind.
right?
All in the mind. The mind is so powerful.
So, okay, so you got support from your husband recently. You're seeing that some of the meats, and I would assume dairy. I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, I'm allergic to dairy. I can't have it
Okay.
because I was an asthmatic, and the dairy would flare up my asthma.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry to hear that you're asthmatic, but it's great that you can eat dairy.
Yes.
I mean, because dairy is really inflammatory.
Right.
But you're seeing that the meat, you eat a plant-based diet, and then you eat meat, and then it feels like you get inflamed. Like you said, your ankle, it causes swelling, and it just makes you not feel well. I mean, how do you feel with your energy?
I was telling my daughter, I told her, I said, I feel great.
Oh, that's.
I have never felt this good before in my life,
Oh, that's.
because I left the oil alone, I left the sugar alone, and I used tamari for, low sodium tamari.
Yeah.
I use that, and I feel great.
That's awesome. So how long have you been sort of back on track, mostly back on track, and feeling better?
Since I came here to Georgia, I came here in June. I left Louisiana to get out for the hurricane season.
Mhm.
And my daughter, her name is Tondra. She helped me to get you guys' book.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
her name is Tondra.
yeah,
oh,
What
what
a
a
beautiful name.
yeah. She I use her address to get you guys' book, which is supposed to be here today. Um,
Thank you.
Thank you
and
so
I'll
much.
yeah, and well, I jumped on. Dr. Esselstyn called me in late June, and I started in early July, and I feel like I'm on top of the world. I feel great.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
You just feel, I mean, but you're still in, not, but you are still in the wheelchair.
Yes.
Correct.
Well, he told me do not use the wheelchair inside because it's a crutch to use the walker. If I'm able to use the walker, do that to build the muscles back up
Yes.
because I have everything on my left side is weak.
Mhm.
Because when they were doing the surgery, performing the surgery, they manipulated my brain in a way to where it stroked. And it left me with permanent ataxia. So
You've been through so much and you still are just, I can tell you're bound and determined and that you really do feel like food is medicine.
I do. I really do. And I do feel like because when I had the surgery, they told me that I should be walking in 6 months to a year. Well, it's been 4 years. So I still have the faith that through diet and through plant-based eating, I'll be able to clear up what's going on with my body and possibly walk again. I may not be 100% whole, but I still feel like I can regain my balance because I have no balance, none whatsoever.
Well,
That's from the brain.
Yeah, it was on my cerebellum back here.
Yeah.
oh,
Wow.
are you able to use the walker outside?
Yes.
Well,
Mhm.
that's a start. The
Yeah.
fact that you feel better than you've ever felt, that's another. So you have to celebrate those small milestones, right?
Yes.
Celebrate those small
Yeah.
victories and just keep going. So, oh my God, I'm
We're
just so encouraged.
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 Absolutely. What an encouraging, very. So it's been about 2 months, right? Since you went
Yes.
back on your whole food plant-based regimen. You cut out the oil.
I did. And I even like when my daughter, she had the Amy's canned soup in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I said, "Oh God, I just don't feel up to getting into the kitchen and doing anything." Because her husband is home because he works out of town. And oh God, I just love him. He's such a great guy.
Oh,
I couldn't ask for better for my daughter. She's married to this wonderful guy. Well, he's home now, and I try to make myself as inconspicuous as I can, and I don't want to get in the way in the kitchen.
Right.
And he says, "Oh, don't mind me," but you still feel like you're kind of in a way when they're in the kitchen trying to do their thing with their kids.
Mhm.
And so I looked in the cabinet and I saw the Amy soup, and I instantly turned it around and saw they had oil in it. I said, "Well, I have no choice. I got to get in here and cook something because I'm not going to eat the soup with the oil in it."
Good for you. Yeah.
for you. See, I mean, and you're looking at the label, you're bound. I can tell your mind is made up. You're just like
Yes,
made up your mind, and that's really where it starts, right? In your
right, right. No compromise.
Exactly.
Right. No, I'm not going to compromise my health for any of this stuff 'cause it's
Right.
not worth it.
Right.
You know, it's just not worth it. I love this. So, have you seen, besides, I mean, you feel better than you felt in a long time in the last 2 months. You know, is there anything else that you're seeing positive for yourself over a 2 month span on this recharged, whole food, plant-based, no soil, no oil, no sugar kind of lifestyle?
Inflammation in my ankles and in my knees are going away. My knuckles are working better than they.
Oh, good.
Yeah, So, and I'm off of my doctor had me on so many medications. I'm off of all of them.
Oh
What?
my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
What do you mean? Like, was it medication for high blood pressure? I'm just curious. You know,
Diabetes, high blood pressure. I'm off of them.
you're off of them after
What?
2 months?
Yes.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. When did you go off of them?
I went off of them week 3. I started weaning myself off. I didn't just cold turkey stop taking them. I had to wean myself off.
Of course.
Wow.
Of course.
That's amazing.
3
That's amazing.
weeks. I mean,
Yes.
that is just, to me, that's where the rubber meets the road. I mean, it just goes to show you, it's not, you feel vibrant, you feel better, you have a renewed energy, your inflammation is down, but to be able to come off of medications like that, that's serious. I mean,
That
that's not
is.
like getting up every day and taking a nap.
Exactly.
Right.
Especially medication you've been taking for a long time.
And yeah, I have been taking the high blood pressure medication I started taking in the late 90s.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. And my doctor, I was shocked because I thought, and this is not to racial stereotype anyone, but I thought that um, him being of the Orient, he would be more interested in naturopathic medication. He's not. It shocked me. I said, well, gee whiz, I thought you would be more inclined to listen. Then my primary care doctor, I was trying to talk to her about, oh no, you'll never get off your diabetic medications. And then the big lie I was telling my daughter, the big lie she spewed to me was that, oh, these medications have no side effects.
Oh no.
And I looked at her, I said, you've been under a rock somewhere.
Yeah.
And then when I talked to her, she called me for a teledoc appointment out here. And she asked me, she said, are you still taking your Ozempic? I said, no. And she said, why? Why are you having it filled then? I said, so you can get paid.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
and that was the end of that
Oh.
doctor visit. Oh my god. Hey, you know what? I mean, you're speaking from your heart, right? I mean,
Right.
that's all you can really do.
So your blood pressure, it sounds like your blood pressure's under control. Your
But 25 years. You
that's
were on
crazy.
blood pressure medicine for 25 years,
Yes.
that's crazy.
and you're off of it all.
Yes.
We always say
So,
we always say that's incredible. We always say food is medicine, but if you think about it, all the medication does is just mask the symptoms. It does nothing to change the root cause. And what's the root cause? The root cause is the food, right?
Right. It did nothing to cure anything. It's like putting a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound.
Exactly. Wow, that's-
And my doctor told me, he said, there's going to come a time where you're going to be on the list for a lung transplant. Well, my lungs feel great. I can breathe deeply and yeah.
Well, you are definitely on the right path. I mean, my gosh, you're definitely on the right path. And then,
And then
to be
her
working with Dr.
diabetes.
Esselstyn.
I know.
Yeah, that's incredible.
what? So now, the diabetic medication, whatever it was,
She had me on 3. She had me on Jardiance, Januvia, no 4. Jardiance, Januvia, Ozempic, and what is the one that caused the kidney damage?
I only know metformin.
Metformin, yeah.
Okay.
She
You were on all 4 of those at once?
yes, at one time.
And you're on none of them now?
I'm on none of them now. My sugar levels have petered out. My last blood pressure I took the other day was 97 over, I think, 79.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's incredible.
With no medications.
No. Oh, girl, you are just filling my love bucket.
Incredible. Wow.
Oh my God. So So how about, do you take your blood sugar?
Yes. When I took that, it was, I think it was 98.
90.
Wow.
Oh my God, 4 medications.
And kudos to you.
And when I went to her, she said, I'm concerned about your weight. I'm going to give you the Ozempic. But my blood sugar, my A1C was under 5. So I'm wondering, why are you giving me Ozempic? She said, so you can lose weight. Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Oh,
Kudos to you. We got to give her credit. Kudos to you for taking control,
yeah,
right? Taking control.
yeah.
I feel like I took my life back
You
into my own hands.
Exactly. Exactly. Perfectly stated.
You
Perfectly
did,
stated.
but you said, no more of this. I don't want any more of your chemicals. I'm not listening to this. I'm here because you want to make money. Forget these drugs. And look at you. That's incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
And then I've lost about 15 pounds.
I was gonna ask you, I was gonna ask you how much
Congratulations.
weight, so you lost 15 pounds over 2 months.
Right.
And you feel great. And then if you don't mind sharing what your age is.
64.
Oh my
64.
God. You are beautiful at 60.
I know.
Thank you.
Oh my
Yeah, I'll be 65 in February.
All right. Well, you're doing amazing. So you must feel better at 65 than you did at 55 or what?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like, I'm blown
speechless.
away.
I'm speechless.
I'm blown away because of the medications you
Yes,
have
yes, yes, that's just
so quickly. So I just, and are you able to use your walker in the house? Do you feel more
Yes.
stable?
I've fallen down a couple of times using it, but it's getting better.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think that's because of your dizziness from
Right.
yeah.
hmm
And hopefully
It's like vertigo 24/7.
24/7. I can't imagine how you have to retrain your brain, to get your balance again, and how you must feel, because I know sometimes when you're dizzy you could feel nauseous.
yes.
I do. Yeah.
But I tell you what, you have the fortitude, you have the right mindset.
Yeah.
You're gonna get beyond that too. I could just see it. I could just tell because you have the right. You're like, I'm on the right path. You have the right support system around you. You built that, and I know it hasn't come easy, but you're on the right path. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah. And
You
her
better be
her
fine.
mind is made up, and
Exactly.
you got your husband on board. You were strong enough, and now he's behind you. It sounds like your daughter is incredible. Been a big support of you. She wants to see her mama well.
Exactly.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She worries about both her dad and myself
Yeah.
Yeah.
because she knows. Because I asked my husband, I said, Tom, what did you eat for dinner? Oh, you'd be proud of me. I made this gumbo. I said, oh, I'm not proud of you.
No, gumbo without sausage, right?
Yes.
We can still have.
No, he made the gumbo. He made the gambit. But in his defense, he bought the canned because he's not a cook. I'm a cook. I have always loved cooking. We had a restaurant in Florida
Okay.
in the 80s, and it was a Creole restaurant. And I have been getting all kinds of good recipes and stuff. And the things that I see in the recipes, I can take those recipes and take the salt, sugar, and oil out to suit me.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And you can do it every time. I so relate to you because I wanted all these recipes that I was basically born and raised on, and I craved those things and just recreated them without salt, oil, and sugar. And because our taste buds change, like you spoke about, we seem to enjoy them better.
Exactly.
more now.
Yeah.
And we eat them, and I can eat a lot because like you, I love food. I love eating and I love food. I do. I love creating food. I love eating food, and that's just the way it is.
Right. It's all of knowing how to play with your spices and herbs.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
That's right. That's
Absolutely.
the whole key. I have my spice cabinet got so full, true story. I had to take a cabinet, a whole cabinet that was meant for whatever pots and pans, and put all my spices in there.
I feel you on that one because I have a spice drawer.
See, yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
that's how it is. My drawer's full, my cabinet's full, and I don't care. I love it. These things are wonderful, and they make the food taste wonderful. So
Brings it to
Right.
life. Brings it
I
to
just,
life.
I just love it. So I'm curious, and now you're gonna have to come back and tell us. We're gonna have to see you in maybe 6 months or something, and we need to tell
Will
everybody
do.
how
I'll be happy
wonderful
to come back.
you're doing. Because working with Dr. Esselstyn, and then just I think the biggest thing for me that I'm hearing now is just your determination
Yes.
and your
Yeah.
drive and your will, and you're like, I can do this. And I'm 65 years young almost, and I feel incredible, and I can do this. I love that, but I would love to hear back in maybe 6 months or whenever you're comfortable to see how you're doing.
I agree.
I will reach out to you guys. Yeah.
I would love that, but I want to know today, where do you think you would be if you hadn't made up your mind? Because you've had so many health scares and some just very serious that take lives. Where do you
Honestly, I think I would be close to death, really ill, because the PAH it had me to where it still affects me minimally, not too much. It had me where my lungs would fill up with mucus and fluid, and I felt like I was drowning in my sleep.
Hmm.
Um, my health was just horrible. And one doctor told me that and I was on arthritis medication no longer.
no
He told
longer?
No longer. He told me that I was going to be crippled in a wheelchair because of my arthritis. I had bone on bone with my arthritis. And the good thing about that is when I did start eating plant-based, my cartilage just grew back.
Oh,
Figure that. Go figure.
incredible.
He asked me, how did I do it? And when I told him plant-based, he didn't want to discuss anything else.
That is so incredible because this is something you just hit such a button for me because this is something I'm so passionate about. I believe in my heart and soul that our bodies can rebuild.
Mhm.
I feel like our bodies are machines. We are made to be well. We were not put on this earth to be sick individuals.
Mhm.
And when we eat the right foods that were created for us, that our body rebuilds itself. And here you are talking about your cartilage rebuilding itself. Was it in your hands or just
It was in starting from my jaw to my hands to my hips, my knees, and my ankles.
whoa, so you were
Incredible.
just
RA through the whole body.
Wow.
oh, wow. I mean, rheumatoid arthritis is
It's very painful.
serious,
Very
very
Yes.
I know there's people that suffer from RA that say if they put a sheet, not a blanket, I'm talking about a sheet,
It hurt.
it hurts.
And the big lie they would push is, well, if you walk more, it'll stop hurting. That was a lie. The more I walked, the more it hurt.
Oh no, I mean, so you were on these heavy rheumatoid arthritis medications and you're off of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's the comparison? I mean, I know it's been 2 months and I know you probably have some.
Well, no. I got off of those the first time I was
Oh,
doing,
okay.
yeah, when I first started. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And he's looking at my x-rays and stuff and he's like, I don't I don't understand. What did you do?
Oh,
Even though I was using oil, I wasn't using salt or sugar. And he wanted to know, what were you doing? And I told him, simple, I went plant-based.
that's
He stopped talking after that. And he said, well, I want you to continue taking this. I said, the medicine didn't cure me. It wasn't a cure. It only masked the pain.
Ask the symptoms. That's it. It'll make your test look great. Everything will look fine. Your test will be amazing, but the deep root cause
Will
will
still
always
be there.
Just like you said, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound.
Right.
Good for you.
that's incredible. I mean, and then so there's no signs of cancer, right? I mean, when they remove all your stuff.
No more signs of cancers.
Okay, thank you, God.
And now you're in a great spot where you're not feeding those cells with
Yeah.
sugar
Right.
and the oil and all the meat byproducts and so on and so forth. So good.
It's just so carcinogenic, and this is just incredible. So no arthritis medicine.
No.
I've never heard of anybody. This is the first time for me hearing somebody on 4 medications
Yeah, or
for
diabetes.
diabetes. I just, wow. None of that. No hypertension medicine.
None.
Your story.
And one of the medications that I was taking, the pharmacist told me that, oh my God, this is for you? I said, yeah. I said, why? She said, because an average man would beat your door down to get these, because it was Viagra to keep my blood vessels in my lungs open.
Really?
Yeah, the sildenafil. It's like the little blue pen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I told Dr. Esselstyn, he said, well, it's because your endothelial cells are ruined. He said, we can build that up. And I said, really? He said, yeah. And when you build them up, you're going to feel better and you're not going to need it anymore. And that's exactly what happened.
I love him. I love him. Oh my God. It's just incredible. I mean, he's done so many years, he's dedicated his life to this.
Right.
Has saved countless people. I mean, I just can't imagine. The fact that he reached out to you just says how passionate this man is about other people and their health and well-being. It just says so much about the people in this community.
Exactly.
And how they care and how it really comes together like a family.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He was one of the first people that we had taken to. We started our whole food plant-based journey, as you probably know by looking at some of our videos and listening to our story. And so the fact that, again, to get a chance to work with him, basically a pioneer. He's a pioneer.
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And Terry, I have to commend you, because you have been there for your honey on her journey.
Yes.
And it just melted my heart to hear you say the things that you said about her. It was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And Angel, you stuck there for your honey
Oh,
in his time of need for his heart.
I-
That you guys are a beautiful couple.
oh,
Beautiful.
my
Thank you.
gosh, it means
Thanks so
so
much.
much. We that I have the goosebumps. It's just incredible. Terry is like what you see on camera. This is him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And likewise.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
He's so gentle and even keeled and just wonderful. I don't know.
So was I right? Angel is the spunky one, right?
You were spot on.
She always tells me, Terry, you're the calmest one in the entire house. So yeah.
He is like you bring.
We balance each other real well.
My husband he's a very kind and gentle soul. He's learning along the way. We've been married for what, 44 years this year. In May was 44 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's beautiful. Oh my God.
So he's a very mild-mannered, mild-tempered man. And if anything ever were to go wrong, they'll look at me and say, "It's your fault."
No, that's right. It's always fault. What are you talking about? So, wow, that's just so beautiful. I was thinking about the relationship. You know, one thing I admire about your husband is that he would be willing to sit down and watch a video because what he was doing in my mind is not when people do that, because we've had people do that all along the way. Oh, do you smell this? Doesn't this barbecue smell great? You wish you could have it, right? It's a
Right.
choose not to have that. I can walk over there and eat all that. It's not, it's not going to kill me today in a couple weeks.
But in the long run, it
In
will.
the long run, it will. But it's like these are my choices. But I don't feel that everybody does that to be malicious. So I don't look at what you're.
I don't think he did it to be malicious.
Nope.
He was trying to be funny.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And sometimes those things of humor or what other people think is humor is hurtful, and we
It
internalize
is.
it, and it hurts us, and it demotivates us. What I really admire about your husband is that he was willing to sit down and watch a video with you and say, you know what? Okay, I can get on board with this. I see it. I support you, and that takes a lot.
It does.
So I commend him for even being willing to do that. And after 44
40
years, I got to tell you, my great grandmother said the first 50 years are the hardest, and then after that, it's really
It's a breeze. Well, I made your sweet potato pie waffles,
Okay.
and the man like melted to the through the floor. He said, "Oh, this is so good." And I took a banana, put it in a blender, poured it on a Teflon sheet, and dehydrated it. And he said, "This is better than candy."
See?
I said, you gotta know what to do for them in order to stay on board
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
That's right. And you can have a sweet tooth on eating whole food plant-based, and you can eat plenty of sweets and good things, and you can whip them up quickly. So, whatever the appetite or whatever it is. I'm curious if you feel deprived eating whole food.
No,
No. Yeah.
no. Last night I had a vegan chicken noodle soup, and the chicken I used was the soy curls. I don't buy any of the store bought processed stuff
Mhm.
Good
Mhm.
for you.
because when I did my research, soy curls are nothing but dried soybeans put through an extruder. So that part resonated with me using that.
Mhm.
And for the noodles, I use shirataki noodles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
yum. Okay.
And I ate that with some greens with the vinegar on it, like Dr. Esselstyn said.
Yeah.
And I took Jill's from Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show.
Yes, I
Mhm.
love
Mhm.
Jeff and Jill.
I do too.
Love.
I took her garbage potatoes and her recipe, and I baked it off. And my granddaughter was like, "Oh, these are so good."
I love that your family is willing to come in and try it and not just, oh, yuck,
Right. No, my daughter is very health conscious young lady. She's very health conscious.
So that's good. That's good. And it's starting out young. I mean, that's great. And you're such a role model. That's great.
Yes, and here you are. This is what I love because it's never too late,
No,
right?
no.
At any age, it's not like, oh, I've been doing this for so long, living a lifestyle this way for so long that I can't change now. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Even hearing your story and hearing about what has transpired over the many years, but condensed in the last couple of months, is just so much proof that it's never too late.
Never
It doesn't
too late.
matter.
Absolutely.
Right.
I just think that's so beautiful. I'm looking down because I wrote some, and you went over, I wrote some questions because I didn't want to miss anything. And you had went over so many things. I just don't want to miss anything. But when you, let's just concentrate on the past 2 months because that feels like it's been really explosive and wonderful for you. Did you jump just right into the whole, you talked to Dr. Esselstyn and you just jumped right
No,
into it?
I didn't. I was kind of doing whole food plant-based because, like I said, when I first came here to Georgia, I ate the steak and I felt bad, and I was still cooking for my family and myself, and I was using the oil, and I was kind of doing plant-based. But then when I talked to Dr. Esselstyn, that's when I left the oil, salt, and sugar alone.
Okay. All right. Great. So you were doing a form of plant-based diet.
Right.
You threw in some meat sometimes, and then we feel
Hmm.
bad. And then when you talked to him, he said, "That's it. My gloves are off. I'm all in.
I'm done.
Right.
I'm all in." Wow.
Well, I know you're all in. I can see it. I can feel it. I know you're all in from here on.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
How's your brain fog and fatigue? And
Well, I'm not fatigued, but I will tell you this. On overcast or cloudy, rainy days,
mhm.
my ataxia is worse because of the low pressure in the air.
oh,
And so my best thing to do for me is to lie down and keep still.
Okay.
Um, but my brain fog, gone. Don't have that anymore.
clear as a bell, I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell. I love it. Oh my gosh, this has been.
Amazing.
I
Absolutely
feel great.
amazing. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience or anything that you want to
Share
be
with
able to
them.
share with them?
To encourage them. What inspires you?
Well, I tell you, from a yo-yo dieting meat eater,
Mhm.
it's not as hard as you think it is. Anything you set your heart and your mind to do, you can do it. If you have to go outside of your house for support, go outside of your house to get that support. There's lots of support online. There's lots of support with neighbors or with other relatives that may be willing to help you get your feet wet and get on that right path to a better, a healthier, better you.
That's awesome.
That is
I
awesome.
love
That is awesome. And you're right. There's so much support, online too, right? And that's why
Hmm.
we connected to Dr. Usselson, and that's how we got connected. And I really, admire the people that came before us, like the Jeffrey and Jill Daltons, and Dr. Usselson, those people that were it kind of laid the foundation, put out so much information, and you have so many different recipes and so many millions of recipes and different healthy food options now. And I really admire you for putting a stake in the ground and saying, you know what, I'm done. Moving forward,
Right.
this is it for me.
And
I
and
admire
then
you.
and then oh, thank you.
Mhm.
I downloaded you guys' app, and that is a lifesaver.
Oh, awesome. Stop
That's
it.
my baby. That's my baby. She created that app, and when she was telling me about it, wow, that sounds like that's going to be amazing. And she worked day and night to bring that to reality and bring that to fruition. So thank you so much. I know that means a lot
Yeah,
to you,
it
babe.
just-
I know that
Oh
means a lot.
yes, it does. And after I get to where I need to go, I'm going to be back into my health coaching services, and I will be referring my clients to your app and to you and Terry. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. Well, you definitely, I love you as a health coach because you've been through so much. And, where I always say I'm not 25 anymore. Can you tell? But I just feel so much better and so much more vibrant. And I look forward to the days and the sunshine and all of that. So You will be immensely helpful and inspirational, and you'll be able to help people because you've been through so darn much
Yes.
in your life. And here you are shining like a big shining star.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you were seriously, I mean, just wow, to be able
Everything that you've
to,
been through.
I can't imagine being wheelchair bound, being told I have to do something for the rest of my life, and then being able to mentally pull myself out of that and say, I am not gonna take this as my final sentence in life. I'm not doing it. I mean, the strength that you have is incredible.
It is. It's truly incredible.
Thank you.
I know your story is going to resonate with so many people, and people will be able to, because a lot of people are in your same position.
Right.
Your same position on all these medications. No, no, they don't think they have any way to get off. And here you are saying, well, yes, you do. You have a choice.
You have a choice.
How you
Yes.
do it. This is the road that I travel. Their road may be a little different. They can travel the same road to get to the same destination. So
Exactly.
thank you so much for sharing. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right?
I'm-
So inspiring. Thank you.
I appreciate this. If you would be willing to come back and talk to us in maybe 6 months or something.
Yes, I would be.
and
Yes.
Do an update. That would be
That'd be
so
amazing.
awesome.
Thank you. I'd be, it would be my pleasure. Yes.
Well, we want to thank you from the
Yeah.
bottom of our heart.
Yeah.
We know that everyone will really love your story, and we can't wait to hear it. So
we
thank you
can't,
so
but
much.
thank you. You're beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully everyone likes this video. If you like this video,
Please
like it. And if you like us,
Yeah.
and please subscribe. So we love you guys. We love everything that we do, and we're trying to just bring content, great people like Deanna to you. So we love you guys. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.